There we go. Right. So the mic is open and
Pardon me?
the mic is open and the camera is on. Don't
Okay.
start yet, but just so you're aware. It's now streaming on YouTube. Okay, can you give me a testing?
Hi, everybody. Tell me when you're ready. Okay.
Hi everyone, Jay-Z Bart here with Plant Based for Life. I am in Betsy's kitchen. Betsy is the queen of tempeh. Years ago, she used to make tempeh from scratch with her husband, Gunter. And today we are actually going to be using store-bought tempeh, but she really knows how to use tempeh to its best advantage. We're going to be making tempeh sausage. When I say we, I mean mostly Betsy. So I'm actually going to turn it over to Betsy now. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm going to enjoy this right along with you.
Thank you. Sure. Okay. Hi, everybody. Tonight I'm making tempeh sausage, and it's a pretty easy recipe that everybody can use. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm putting the tempeh into the KitchenAid. Grating it so that it can go into the tempeh pans. And then I season it. So now I take the tempeh out of the container. And of course, there's always some scraps left over that you can sort of incorporate into the tempeh, into the bowl. I take it out, and this is what the tempeh looks like after it's grated and ready to go into the bowl. So I take it out, and presto, it's done. I could do this by hand using a hand grater, but it's a little bit cumbersome. Now I put in all my powdered ingredients. I have onion powder, I have garlic powder, I have poultry seasoning, and I have smoked paprika as part of the seasonings. And I have also some flour and some fennel and some ground cumin and some grated thyme and some black pepper. So basically I mix this all together so it sort of incorporates all the spices within the tempeh itself. This tempeh sausage is one of the last recipes that I developed before my husband Gunter Fav passed away 6 years ago. And it's basically a really tasty recipe, and you can do whatever you want to with it. Now, for the rest of the ingredients, I use tamari and some liquid smoke, a little bit of flax mixed with some water, which will keep all the grated tempeh together, a little bit of flour that helps keep everything together, and a little bit of mustard that gives it the nice little tang. And basically, this is a recipe that you can add more ingredients to or less ingredients. You can also make it a little bit tastier and a little bit more spicy if you want. But neither one of us really liked a lot of spice. So this is the same recipe that I've been using since forever. I mean, since 6 years ago when Gunter and I were still together. Now, basically what I do is after it's all mixed together like this, is that I put it into these little corn muffin tins, or you can make it into sausage. Basically what I do is I take a little bit of the tempeh that's already seasoned and shape it like sort of like a sausage like this and put it into the pans. You probably get about 4 of these, or you could stretch it and maybe make 5, but I usually have 4. And like I say, if you don't have the pan, the cornbread pan, you can basically make a sausage and do the same kind of thing. So basically I've made them into 4, and that suits the pan nicely, although the pan has enough for 12. You can always double the recipe if you like it. And I'm going to wash my hands a little bit. And then I am ready for it to go into the oven. I have 4 right here, right in front of your eyes. And now they're ready to go into the oven at 375 for approximately 18 minutes. So I'll put the timer on and let them start baking. And
through the magic of television, we have some prepped for you right now. Look at how gorgeous that is. Absolutely. I wish you could smell it. You know, one of the things that we learn about cooking, especially as we transition to plant-based, is it's all about the spices. What makes food taste good? It's the herbs and spices that we add. I'm going to get this a little bit closer. Look at that gorgeousness. Absolutely delicious. I got a chance to sample these before. I'm a lucky girl, and they are delicious. What makes sausage sausage? It is the seasoning. It is the spices that you use. Now, as Betsy said, the flavor of these is maybe a little bit mild for some people, but you can always add more. It's so much harder to remove spice, but it's a lot easier to add it. These are perfect for me. I absolutely love all the flavors. Remember, the things like poultry seasoning that are in here are what we would have used pre-plant-based to season those other things that we don't talk about now. So make sure to use those spices to its best advantage. Use geniuses like Betsy here that know how to prepare these foods, know the right flavor combinations, and follow her recipes. Everyone who's on my mailing list is going to get a copy of this recipe. It's very, very straightforward. The ingredient list seems a little bit long, but it's mostly spices. It's really very easy. You saw how quickly this came together, how easily, especially if you have a handy dandy food processor. But if you have to mince or use a grater, that can get it done as well. One of the things that's really a critical piece, anytime you're making rolls or patties or sausages or loaves or anything like that, is to include at least 2 binders. And you'll notice that Betsy has a flax egg, which is basically just ground flax and water mixed together, as well as flour, 2 binders. And that's what keeps them together and keeps their shape. Another thing that we chatted about before we got started here, that Betsy suggested, was that you can turn these into patties as well. So if you wanted to make like a breakfast sandwich or something like that, or you wanted to have little patties and circles, that might be easier to form for some people. And then you can just bake them on a regular pan if you don't have a fancy pan like she has. Again, I wish you could smell this. It smells so fantastic. The fabulousness of tempeh is that it is chewy, it is dense. It's also higher in fiber and protein than tofu. So it's really an excellent option. And I'm doing my best to get educated on how to prepare it really, really well. Before today, I basically had one tempeh recipe that I like to use on a regular basis. Now I have two. See how that works? It was doubled.
And basically, what's nice about the tempeh sausage, now that we are into apple season, is looking for a nice applesauce recipe and serving this tempeh sausage or the tempeh whatever into along with applesauce. So there it is.
That's a beautiful combination. If you were a little bit adventurous, you might even put some little dices of apples inside there and make yourself some apple sausage.
Yeah.
How fun is that? Remember, you are only limited by your imagination. Take these recipes that we do on here and make them your own. You know, add some spicy spices if you like that. Change the shape of it. Get creative with your recipes. Take, you know, the help, the leg up that you get from people that know how to do this and make it your own. So I really want to thank Betsy so much. She and I have spent a little bit of time together today talking about her history, and it is really wonderful and amazing. As I said at the beginning, her and her husband actually made tempeh from scratch. They patented their own system for making tempeh. So very, very cool stuff in stainless steel, where it used to be done in plastic. So really cool stuff. They used to do this and sell it and do demonstrations and teach classes way back. You know, now a lot of people understand what plant-based is and understand that there are health benefits to eating plant-based. When her and her husband started, it was a little bit more of an uphill battle. So we have to give major props to pioneers like Betsy and her husband for, you know, getting us going, getting us started, giving us products that we can use to eat healthfully, but also deliciously. Remember what I always say, if it's not fun, if it's not easy, if it's not delicious, it's not sustainable. You saw how quickly that came together. So make sure to get on my email list so that you get all of these recipes. I will also be posting an edited version of this on YouTube with the ingredients list attached. So you can subscribe to my YouTube channel or get on the list, on the email list at you can email me at jay@pbforlife.com. That's JAY@pbforlife.com. Or you can go to my YouTube channel and look up Plant-Based for Life and subscribe there. Either way, you're going to get this information. I think it's so important that we learn how to practically apply healthy behaviors in easy, fun, and delicious ways. Anything you want to add, Betsy?
Well, if anybody really wants to learn how to make tempeh, they can look at my website. It's called makethebesttempeh.org. And this was one of the last fights that we put up before Glinda passed away. And it's making tempeh in a picnic cooler on a stainless steel tray. And by far, it makes the best tempeh ever. So there again, if you want a challenge, makethebesttempeh.org. There you have it.
Fantastic. Thank you. Really check that out. See what you could do for yourself. For those of you who have never heard of tempeh, it is basically very much like it's made of soybeans. So it is made with the same sorts of ingredients as tofu, except it's done in a fermented way and it comes out in sort of a bean cake almost. It's very firm. You can actually see the beans in it. So it's a little bit closer to a whole food than actually than tofu is. And it is more dense, more meaty, more chewy. It is spelled TEMPEH. That's TEMPEH. if you're looking it up or looking for it in the grocery store. Most grocery stores carry it now, but if you're local to Ventura County, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Lassen's, Sprouts, all those kinds of places will carry it. I want to thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to pop over and see if anybody has any questions or comments. Feel free to put those in the Q&A or the chat, and I'll be right back with you.
And also, basically, people are experimenting with using different beans making tempeh. There's a whole interest list on Facebook on making tempeh with black beans, azuki beans, mung beans, lentils, etc. So the sky is the limit. Tempeh originated in Indonesia, and that's where they still make it, usually with mostly soybeans. And you cook the soybeans and you cool them off, and then you inoculate them with a Rhizopus oligosperus culture, which binds the beans together into a cake. And what we did is we cut out the cake and made it into tempeh squares, and whatever was left over, we put it into a grated tempeh. So that's how we sold our tempeh when we were on the market from 1985 to 1994. We were sort of pioneers way back when.
So we have 2 sets of live audiences. On YouTube, Sarah says, looks so delicious. Can't wait to make it. Wonderful cooking demo, Betsy.
Thank you.
Let me pop over to Zoom. Aloha, Jay and Betsy. Mahalo for making this live demo. Thank you, Dee. Any other questions or comments? I know that recipe is so simple, so make sure, I'm going to put this in the chat. Make sure that you reach out if you want to be on these lists to get these recipes.
And don't forget, you can make it spicier, and just do whatever you want to with the recipe. The sky's the limit. I made it mild because Quinter and I sort of like mild food. So like I say, the sky is the limit, and it's really easy. All the spices are available in any store. So it's not like you have to go and order something special from some company.
Can you repeat your website, please?
Pardon me?
Your website, can you repeat it?
makethebesttempeh.org. It's all one word.
All right, I want to thank you again. This has been Jay Zebart and Betsy Shipley making tempeh sausage. Thank you for watching, and look out for more videos coming to you soon. Have a great rest of your evening or day or wherever you happen to be. And don't forget to eat your way to your best you. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.